Hey, Melissa.
Hi, Rashida.
Oh my goodness. We are recording tonight. This is obviously, I'm Rashida Graham Washington. And if you don't know that, you probably don't even care about this video. I'm the owner of Live Cafe and Creative Space. And this is Melissa Villanueva, owner of Brewpoint. All the things Brewpoint. We're going to hear more about Brewpoint. But we have a wonderful, exciting announcement to make tonight. But before we get to the big news, I just want to share a little bit of context for that news so that people know how exciting it actually is. Many of you already know Brewpoint and Live have been collaborating since before Live ever opened. I learned how to make lattes on Brewpoint's machine at your first location in Elmhurst. Um, since then we have corroborated, conspired, and collaborated on all the things. So much so that we even got a whole Live signature blend that is women owned from farm to cup out of our conspirings. So how long have we been doing this stuff together? About what?
Almost 4 years, three,
Almost 4
three,
years.
4 years. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have been partnering and conspiring for a while. And I think many of the people who would be listening in to our news tonight know already so much about Liv, but I want you to have an opportunity to share a little bit about Brewpoint. Who is Brewpoint?
Absolutely. So, no, this is great. I own Brewpoint. Brewpoint started off, I like to ask people if they've ever found a coffee shop on Craigslist and ended up buying it with their 6-month boyfriend, because that's the story of Brewpoint. So that was 6.5 years ago that I found a coffee shop on Craigslist. Now we have a full-fledged coffee company with 3 cafes, a wholesale roastery, an event space, and I'm also the author of the book, Starting and Running a Coffee Shop. And my company is about to launch a new brand called Brewpoint Craft, which is coffee, cocktails, charcuterie, and clean air. So an open air system to make sure that we are thoughtful in our expansion in the midst of a pandemic. So that's a little bit about Brewpoint.
That is a lot about Brewpoint. We continue to be excited about the work you're doing and the thoughtful way in which you're doing it. And because you do, and because you are, today we are expanding our partnership to broaden and strengthen our brands, creating viability and sustainability for the work we are each most passionate about. So y'all already know that I like quality coffee and I have an affinity for carefully curated delectables, but my real heart is for community spaces and intentional conversations, living in tension and living in tension toward fostering community transformation. Well, likewise, Melissa also shares that passion for community and has a deep desire to be stretched in her capacity to embody asset based approaches to community connection, particularly in Oak Park. So her skill set, however, her skill set for carefully crafted coffee is absolutely impeccable. And her keen curation of charcuterie and cocktails is unprecedented. In a time like this, when we are getting closer and closer and closer and closer to being able to go back outside, we are excited to say that we are joining forces. 163 South Oak Park Avenue will now become the home of what was known as Brewpoint Coffee and will be known as Brewpoint Craft, a company that combines coffee, cocktails, charcuterie, and clean air towards bringing people around the table and creating safe ways to congregate. So Melissa's going to be leading the charge at Brewpoint Craft, focusing more intently on curating all things delectable. Y'all know that Live was good, but it could have been greater if I wasn't running all around and saying all the words and leading all the things and facilitating all the conversations. So Brewpoint will partner with what will now be known as Live 2.0, which is a new iteration of Live Cafe and Creative Space, which will free me up to broaden my reach for infusing equitable community practices into community spaces so that Brewpoint Craft will be in place to give you all the delectables and all the things you really deserve on bar. We are so looking forward to that. It'll still be at 163 South Oak Park Avenue. And we'll continue to reimagine and get curious together about what our new future holds for us as a community, even as we feel the veil of uncertainty gradually lifting across our community, our country, and our world. This partnership makes room for both Melissa and myself to refine and amplify our values, making space to lean into our missions and our passions sustainably. So, what can we look forward to, Melissa, now at Brewpoint Craft, 163 South Oak Park Avenue? What can we look forward to?
Absolutely. So we can look forward to, we really want to not skip a beat as much as possible. So we are already in the space making a couple of small configurations, but we're looking to open our coffee side of our business as soon as we can. So we're thinking later spring. And as soon as we can open up the Brewpoint Craft side, so get charcuterie, cocktails, the clean air portion, we're going to do it as soon as we can as well, which I think everything should happen by late spring, early summer. And I will say, just to kind of add, we have been thinking about expanding for a little bit now beyond Elmhurst. And we were looking at a lot of different towns, but it really is the partnership with Rashida, the partnership with Liv that sold it for us. I've been wanting to create an ecosystem that has been really thinking about things along the lines of equity, diversity, inclusion, and I can't think of a better partner. I can't think of a better person to alleviate their time and energy so that they can do their work and change the world, and us be in our lane to do what we're doing really well and be able to do that together. So we are just so excited, so blessed, so honored to be able to do this with Rashida, with Liv. But yeah, that is what you can look forward to really soon.
And I'm excited because, like you said, it really does free me up. We continue to have our community space, our watering hole, our sweet treats and our fun time space, our space to conspire towards diversity, equity, and inclusion. My office will still be at 163 South Oak Park Avenue, but this frees me up to start to think about this question of, why do we think it's acceptable that 163 South Oak Park Avenue is the only place where we count on for this kind of work to unfold? And how can we start to get curious in our other spaces around town? And that will be the role of Live 2.0, to help us to get curious in other spaces around town about how to infuse a welcoming presence of diversity, equity, and inclusion, so that no matter where you go in the town, you start to feel that feeling that 163 South Oak Park Avenue has, that people have come to know and love. So friends, listen, this is not a time to recoil. This is not the time to second guess our efforts. 2 short months ago, we suffered a tragic and hateful incident, and that was hard. But as I said then, and I'll say now, we are still going high. Your rally cries, your solidarity, your contributions to our community is what made it possible for us to still be here. So we're grateful for how you've been supportive, and this is our response to double down and how we partner and expand to ensure a future for the work we do. So thank you once more for how you've supported us, how you've shown us love. See this next phase as a response to your support rather than as a reaction to that calamity. So how this works, Brewpoint Craft and Melissa are going to handle the house. They're going to hold it down and own the space, lightening the load for that I've had to shoulder in a big way for a good while on our behalf. Brewpoint will make sure that you have great food and drinks and a comfortable and classy place to be. And they will retain Live 2.0 to continue to infuse the community concepts that we've grown to know and expect from 163 South Oak Park Avenue into the ethos of the space. As a retained member of the Brewpoint Craft team, I will continue to hold office space at Brewpoint. And so what you get, friends, is the best of both worlds. I told you, this is big news. So officially, Brewpoint will be at the helm, and they're going to take some time. The space will be closed from the 15th till a little bit later in spring. We'll come back with further announcements. We don't want to say too much because if you know construction at any time, you know it can go any way as we're trying to prepare the space. And then when you put the pandemic on top of that, we just don't want to say overpromise and underdeliver. But we will keep you posted on that. And we'll be in our new space soon enough, which will continue to be that space of grace for courageous conversations, convenings, and community. We know that Oak Park will be knee-deep in elections soon. And so stay tuned for how Live 2.0 and Brewpoint Craft will be working together to offer our first collaborative table setting of sorts, be it online or in person, is yet to be determined. But we will be available to hold each other, if only at a distance, as we take in our new reality in Oak Park. So a few things. If you're already a member of Live, you can expect to continue to receive your monthly delivery of Live Signature Blend. It will continue to be roasted by Brewpoint, and we'll even be expanding our service to offer weekly coffee delivery options, as well as other opportunities to infuse diversity, equity, and inclusion into your daily lives. We encourage you to keep those memberships. Your services will not change, and we'll continue to mobilize those resources towards the equitable community building efforts which you have come to know and love. If you have gift cards, now you can use them for online purchases. Our online retail will stay in place. Live will continue to be a business that thrives in this way. And so be encouraged to make retail purchases online. We will continue to be available to you via info@liveexclamation.com if you have any questions. And as a retained member of the Brewpoint Craft team, you can also pop in because my office will be there. And now we hope that you will support both of our courageous companies run by two dynamic women of color as we consider alongside you how to move forward, gleaning from this very interesting season we've been a part of and planting formidably for what is to come and partnering for what we know will be better days ahead as we continue to live with you while crafting a better tomorrow for us all. So this is what's coming your way. Y'all know where to find me. I'm all over social media. Melissa, where can your new friends who are getting to know you a little bit better, how can they find out more about Brewpoint Craft?
Absolutely. So you can follow us on social media, Instagram and Facebook. We're pretty up to date. We update a lot on those channels. We just launched a Brewpoint Craft Oak Park Facebook. So like and follow that, and jump on our website at brewpointcoffee.com to learn more about us and our ecosystem and the ways in which we're hoping to build a better world through coffee, cocktail, charcuterie, and the whole platform. So one thing I'll mention it too is, in terms of cocktails, because I didn't talk too much about that, but something that could be exciting for people is that our consultant has been Will Duncan from Fitzgerald's, that I know a lot of people know in Berwyn. And we'll be getting some, Brewpoint Old Fashions. We have a Clover Club. We have a Pisco Mai Tai, which is a nice infusion of Chileno culture and Asian culture, which is me and my husband. So be ready for some superb cocktails coming soon. So Rashida, you and I will be cheersing very soon.
Yes. In fact, maybe one of the things we can do as we think about how to continue to bring community together at 163 is have a toast to this new partnership when the time is right to do so and when it's safe to do so. We want to celebrate because this is a coming together moment. It really is. And it's leveling up a partnership and a relationship that has been here for almost half a decade. We have been busy humans, I will tell you. This is how it is done. So much of the fabric of who Live is rooted in economic development and entrepreneurship focused on women of color. And so this is just the next chapter of that very busy way of being that we've experienced as we continue to think about how we can continue to support one another and how we continue to celebrate each other in the business work that we do. I think this is how business should be done. And maybe in some ways, this is the gift that if there's a gift to be had, this is one of the gifts that the pandemic has to offer us. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm super excited about how we will conspire in this next chapter together, Melissa.
Awesome. I'm so excited to be coming to Oak Park.
Thank you all so much. Be well.
Thank you.